What's happening, guys? Vince Mancini here, and I'm coming at you with a quick core workout today. This is something I did myself the other day, and in this video I'm running through some of the clips narrating my thinking and understanding of core and abdominal workouts. Now the exercises themselves aren't in the order I did them on the day. Now I'll put a quick list before just to give you an understanding of how I might run through this. But otherwise, this is just a quick instructional video just to help you, get a better understanding of how you might train yourself. What's happening, guys? This is just me doing a quick overview on my thinking behind my core routine I put together the other day. So basically here I'm starting with back extensions, and the reason I do that is mainly because one of the things most people do, and I used to do myself, is overwork the front part of my body, because that's the aesthetic part, the part you really care about. And what that will lead to is a lot of imbalances and potential injuries further down the road. So really one of the first things I like to do and prioritize is the important muscles, which are your lower back. So here I'm doing just basic back extensions, and I'm adding a small element here where I'm actually retracting my shoulders and tucking in my chin to get a secondary effect of improving my posture. Just make sure you do it with good form, don't hyperextend, and this is a very good exercise. About 4 sets, as many reps as I can do. I usually like to pause at the top as well when I do it. I also do this exercise, which is L-sits, and yeah, this is a very looks easy, very hard exercise, basic gymnastics and isometric. Believe me, if you can hold that for 30 seconds, you're doing good. And again, a great way of working your lower abs. Definitely, I would say that this I would recommend to anyone. I never see anyone do it. That's another funny thing. Most of the best exercises, I never see anyone do them. But yeah, you don't have to necessarily do it from the floor. This one you can do actually from the dip bars. But I find that if you do it from the floor, it's a lot harder. Something to do with the angle of your arms and being able to slightly lean back in the dip bars. So yeah, basically just hold it as long as you can and try to maintain good form. Try to keep your shoulders back. Again, harder than it looks. Definitely would recommend this. This next exercise is the wood chopper, and this again is a very important exercise because I think most people don't seem to understand that the abs are not just there to flex your body, but they're also there to create and counter rotation. So this is really one of the best ways to get your obliques in the game and really test your abdominal strength. So all I do here is I set up a band, and this isn't a very strong band. I think it's about a 40-pound resistance band, and basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take out all the momentum from the exercise. So I'm trying to just rotate as well as I can through the hips, just take out all the momentum, especially on the eccentric, the descending part of the movement, which is where you'll get most of your gains if you're looking for that. Because as most people don't know, you get more micro tears from the eccentric rather than the concentric, the part where you're lowering the weight. And in this case, where the band is pulling me back, so I'm just basically really concentrating on keeping that going back steady. And this is just another variation of the exercise, but from a different angle. And it's just to target your obliques in just as many ways as possible. And I usually always do make sure I get quite a bit of rotation in any ab or core routine I do. And this next one is a TRX rotational exercise. I'm not sure exactly what the name is of this one, but it's another good exercise. Not as hard as the other one, but just a good way to finish up, just to make sure you really burn out your obliques. And again, you're just, you can make this harder by stepping forward and getting more gravity against you. But 2 sets of this should be enough. And just another way of targeting your abdominal wall. So this next exercise is the reverse hyperextension. So it's like the back extension, the first one, but you're just doing it actually with the opposite part of your body, and it still targets your lower back, and it gets a lot of glutes in there. And it's quite difficult to do like this on dips bars, and I've actually never seen anyone else do it other than myself. But nevertheless, you still can kind of get the effect you're looking for, especially if you manage to get some sort of a weight, like maybe a water bottle between your legs, that will make it a whole lot harder. But this really is one of the most underrated exercises around, because anytime I have some sort of lower back issues, I usually like to knock out as many of these as I can. Fantastic exercise for lower back strength. I took my top off for a minute and I realized it was way too cold, but this is definitely the best ab exercise you can do. Leg raises, but this one's just slightly harder because what I'm doing is I'm bringing my feet right up and I'm grazing my hands in a rotational pattern. So I'm getting a bit of rotation in there, and I'm having to really hold it and stay steady. And as you can see from my abs, it's definitely really working. I recommend this as definitely the hardest ab exercise that I know of, other than maybe front levers. So again, I just try and knock out as many as I can. I don't really worry too much about reps. I just worry about reaching failure. Again, this is just to finish up. This is just what I'm doing just to make sure I really hit my lower back as much as possible. This is an exercise I got from a book called The Foundation, which was a good book to kind of teach me how to rehabilitate my lower back a few years ago when I had a bad injury from just from a bad fall I had. And this exercise, what I'm trying to do at the back legs, I'm trying to keep them really close together and squeeze as much as possible, and that helps me target the lower back a lot more. And then I'll just jump into some swimmers just to really burn it out. This doesn't look like it's much, but it does work if you really you really got to think it though. You really got to think it through and make sure you get that mind-body connection. Think about the lower back. Then I'll jump into some crunches. I don't really like crunches. Not something I do often. In fact, I think crunches are so overrated. Everyone thinks they're the greatest exercise in the world for developing your abs, but personally, I think they're completely useless. I mean, I could knock out 500 in a row, I'm pretty sure, but just to finish up, just to make sure you really maxed out your workload. Anyway, that's it.
Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed that video and maybe got something that you might have not known previously about working out your core. If you like what you just saw, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're also interested in getting into my onto my email list, please don't forget the link below where you can get weekly communications from me about everything to do with health and fitness. And see you next time.